Today we're going to talk about Delta8 THCO and Delta9 THCO and the FDA. Now, what is Delta8 and Delta9? They're naturally occurring cannabinoids that occur in marijuana and hemp. When you take those two cannabinoids and you have a process called acetylation with an acetyl group or an acid group, what happens is you end up converting Delta9 or Delta8 into THCO Delta8 or THCO Delta9. Now, this can be done in a lab, and it's not that big a deal. The important thing is that there are no residual chemicals left in the product that you're going to be eating or smoking. Delta8 and Delta9 obviously are naturally occurring cannabinoids. Delta9 is probably about 3 to 4 times stronger than Delta8. THCO Delta8 is about 3 times stronger than just plain old Delta8. And THCO Delta9 is probably about 3 times stronger than just Delta9. So now you understand how THCO occurs. And you have to remember, this occurs in a lab. It's not that big a deal. You can actually make THC from scratch. This is something people don't seem to remember or understand. And you can actually convert CBD to THC and THC to CBD if you wanted. It's simple acid-base reductions. Now let's bring in the FDA. The FDA says the FDA and the federal government said, hey, marijuana is a Schedule I drug. We're going to keep our hands off and let the states decide as to whether they want to have THC or not. So some states won't allow it. Some states allow medicinal. Some states allow medicinal and recreational. The funny thing is this. They allow Delta9, which is a Schedule I drug. And then they say, well, if you begin to change the molecular formula into something that's similar to Delta9 and gives you similar effects, we're going to say that's illegal. You're like, wait a minute. We got the real McCoy here, Delta9. But if I change it into Delta9 THCO, that's illegal. We've got Delta8, which occurs, and they're not making a big stink out of that. But then you convert it into Delta8 THCO, and they all get their panties in a wad. It's going through Congress, or they're sending it up to Jesus to talk about it, or whatever they're doing. I don't think it's going to be made illegal at this stage in the game. There are too many industries and too many people that are going to be affected by it. But now you understand a little bit about Delta8, Delta9, THCO-8, and THCO-9. And just to leave you with the last thought, aspirin is salicylic acid. And the Bayer Corporation, you've heard of Bayer aspirin, they said, if we add an acetyl group to aspirin, it would be called acetyl salicylic acid. And by adding the acetyl group, it makes the body absorb and utilize aspirin that much better. And that's the reason why THCO Delta8 and THCO Delta9 are much more potent and are much more bioavailable to the body. They add the acetyl group, and that makes them 3 to 4 times stronger. And now you know.